This is the third small group discussion with J. Krishnamurti and Madras, 1976.
You said yesterday in your talk yesterday something about holding the quality of anger, fear, or any of these strong emotions without the word in consciousness. Could we probe into that? Because it is this wiping away, whether it is hurt, whether it is fear, whether it is anger, whether it is any of the darknesses which fill one, seems only possible if what this you're talking about takes place. Now, unless we can come to the quality of this, of and see whether it is at all possible, whether that passion of feeling, the strength of feeling which goes behind all these words of fear, anger, etc., without the word can be held in consciousness. Could we investigate that?
Rather early in the morning, isn't it? Somebody begin. You're all involved in this dialogue. It's not my only. So. Oh no, Radhaji. You've understood her question. She's asking, please correct me if I'm wrong. She's asking, what does it mean to hold a feeling, anger, whatever it takes, without the word what is the state of the mind, or the quality of the mind that can, without any other movement than the movement of what is, without the word. Is that it?
Yes. And is there anything without the word?
Is there fear? Is there fear when there is not the word fear? You raised that question yesterday also. And what is that energy in the body, or that sensing in the body or in the whole being? What is its nature in the moment there is not a naming of it?
Yes, that's what she is asking. Yeah. What is
Clarity for us means naming.
What's up?
Clarity for us means naming. For us, with the way in which our brains work.
Arjun, you want to come into that?
I said clarity for us means naming. Because when we like to know precisely what we are feeling, we don't want any self-deception. And when we want to probe into a feeling, which is a strong feeling, a disturbance, invariably before we have been able to grasp it completely, we have named it. So naming is both our instrument of clarity and the cause of confusion.
So, is the word, may we begin slowly,
Please.
is the word different from the fact, from what is? Is the word door different from the door?
Yes.
Where is the door? I indicate by the word door not the actuality. Right?
Yes.
So the word is not the thing.
The question arises, then can you ever indicate the actuality?
We're going to find out slowly. We're going to go into it.
Is there a difference between the position between the word door is not the door, but is the word fear fear? The two things seem to be different.
Let's go slowly into this,
Yes.
if you don't mind. The word door is not the actuality, right? The name K is not the actuality. The form is not the actuality, right? Wait, slowly. I'm not quite sure. So, the word is not the thing, right? The door, the word is different from the actuality. What are we trying to get at? We are trying to find out if the word fear is different from the actuality. That's one point. Does the actuality represent the word? And without the word, is there the actuality? That's what he's trying to...
That's the question, sir.
That's the question, isn't it?
What is the feeling of fear without the word?
I will go... And let's go very, very slowly. I want to make this perfectly clear to myself. That is, there is the word fear. Is that word different from the actuality, which is that emotion, that feeling? And without the word, is there that feeling? So let's stick to that for the moment. Right? Go on.
The word is the thought. Word is thought.
Word is thought.
So,
Word, symbol, picture,
yes, image.
yeah,
It's
image.
all the same
So
thing.
the word is the medium through which thought expresses itself.
Yes.
Is the word, without the word, can thought express itself? Of course it can. A gesture, a look, a nod of the head, and so on. So without the word, thought can express to a very, very, very limited extent. So, without the word, when you want to express something very complicated in thought, the word is necessary.
Yes.
Right? But the word is not the actual
Thought.
the actual state, actual, whatever you call it.
The process.
The actuality is what is not the actuality.
No, not quite. I want to say, I may say I use the word, I love you. The feeling of that is not the word. Right?
Yes.
But the feeling has to be expressed through the word. But the word has such enormous significance for most of us. We lose the deeper depth of it.
To
That's-
which I raised one difficulty. that as we understand perception, we perceive with the senses. That ends when there is naming. That starts the tertiary process, that with the naming a number of complicated things begin in my brain. Now I see this and I say that I wish I could wipe out this word. Then you wipe out the name. When you have wiped out the name, you have not wiped out the feeling, if it is coarse, if it is...
I'm not quite sure. Achutji, let's go slowly into it.
I am saying, sir, that there is, I have discovered, by not naming, you don't get rid of your confusion. And confusion becomes more...
Don't let's use the word confusion yet. We haven't come to that yet.
All right.
We are sticking to the word fear.
Yes.
We are asked, Pupulji is asking, what is the state of the mind or the quality of the mind that without the word, and the word is not the thing, and the word has not aroused the thing, the feeling, what is that quality of mind that can hold that feeling without any movement? Right, Populji? That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
So you try it, sir. I want to begin very slowly, right?
But we are questioning whether the feeling does arise without the word.
That's all. I want to go slowly. Door is not...
If I may say so, there are many things in consciousness which arise prior to the word.
Primordial fear. But can it be sustained without the word?
No, I'm not talking of sustaining, but there are various things. Tenderness, for instance. Joy.
Would you say, can you observe something without the word? Can you observe me, the form, the name for the moment, without the word?
Yes.
You can, can't you? Now, you're only observing the form. You have removed the word K and you're observing the form.
You're observing. I don't say you're observing the form.
Then what are you observing?
You see, sir, the moment you say I'm observing the form, there has to be naming.
There has to be a name.
There has to be naming. But when it's just, when I say there is just observing, then the form is part of this whole observing process. I'm observing not only you, I'm observing.
No, I said me. I said, can you observe? Then the K, remove the word K, you observe the form. That's all you are. Of course you're observing that. I'm limiting it to just the form. You're observing the form.
Yes, I'm observing the form.
What are we trying to get at? We're wondering.
I'm trying to say whether the word is prior to...
Look, Popo, let's get at this simply. Come on. I'm afraid. There's fear. First of all, I want to find out if the word has created that fear. Right? Has the word created the fear? The word is the recognition of that thing which I've called fear. Because that fear has gone on for many years, and I have recognized it through the word. Right? I wonder, huh?
Without the word.
But I'm going to question it. Just a minute. 10 years ago, I was afraid that fear is registered in my brain with the word, right? With the word is associated, that fear. It occurs again today. And immediately there is recognizing process set in, which is the word and so on. So the word gives me a feeling or if the word gives me a feeling that I've had it before. So the word has encouraged the feeling, right? Has stabilized the feeling.
Yes. Sustains it.
It holds it. The word holds the thing by recognizing it, remembering it, and so on. Now I'm asking whether the word, which is a process of recognition, without that word, can there be fear? Sir, watch it, huh? Fritz, look at it, sir. You're afraid. How do you know you're afraid?
By naming it.
No, how do you know it?
The state you constate yourself. It is state you constate.
I have been afraid before. I know
So-
that feeling. So now that something comes again,
And you,
and they say, "Oh, I recognize it. That's what I have felt."
so if you don't recognize it, which is the verbal process, if you don't recognize it, what is the state?
That's certainly not fear.
Wait, sir, don't be too quick.
Sir,
It's feeling.
Huh?
There is kind of feeling.
Feeling. Now,
It's an energy in the body.
no, just don't use energy because we'll go off into something else. I have fear. I've recognized it by naming it. In naming it, I have put it into the category of a certain category. And the brain remembers it, registers it, holds it. If there is no recognition, the verbal movement, all the rest of it, would there be fear?
There is disturbance.
sir,
I'm using the word wait, fear. Stick to fear.
I'm
The
sticking
meaning,
to fear, sir.
the meaning of the word fear is what?
No, but sir, you, if I may say so, fear is not such a simple thing that you say that if there is no naming of it, fear is not.
I don't say that yet. Of course, there's lots involved in it.
There's
A
tremendous.
tremendous lot
Physiological
involved.
feelings too.
Huh?
Physiological.
there is that's what I am saying. There is physiologically first something which happens even before naming takes place.
There's a whole
But it may
Yes.
also be the other way around, that the name creates the physiological change.
that's one way of, that's one form of fear. But there are profoundly deeper.
If we accept only this position that the word creates fear, that means there is no content to fear at all.
I don't say that. I'm asking. There is a process of recognition, right? If that process of recognition doesn't exist, if it is at all possible, then what is fear? I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm asking a question. If there is no process of registration, recording, which is the memory operation, what is the thing called fear?
I may use a number of other words.
It's a movement.
Then it is a
Sir, there is
purely
a-
biological response.
I may use a number of other words.
But it's still the same.
I
Sir,
may say darkness.
Yes. Go
I may
ahead. Dark.
say darkness.
Which is again a recognition.
So that is why I say you remove the word and say what remains. Any word I use is going to apply exactly as much as the word fear.
No, I'm attacking it quite differently.
sir, do you make a distinction between recording and naming?
Yes.
That's what
No
I
difference.
What does
Both
it,
are the same.
what does it mean?
You insult me, which is a form of, because I have an image, you hurt me and so on. You insult me. There is immediate registration taking place. I'm asking, can that registration come to an end when you insult me? Not recorded at all.
I don't. That's a totally different process.
It is exactly the same thing.
How, sir?
I'll show it to you. I'll
Not
show it
to
to my
allow any insult to take place.
I'll show it to you. Fear arises because I'll be exposed to you of the things which I've done. I'm afraid of the past. The past is registered. And that incident in the past awakens the sense of fear. Right? That fear, it has been registered. Right? Right? No, wait, go slowly. Now I'm asking, though the past registration has taken place, is it possible to observe the new feeling, or feeling whatever it is, without bringing the past into action and not register at all? You've got my...
There are a series of recognitions before you actually call the feeling fear.
No, look, so let's go from now. I've got it. You watch it. You insult me. You insult me. I insult you. What takes place? You register it, don't you?
I recognize.
You recognize it, register it.
So, if there is...
Yeah, just keep it very simple. I call you a fool. So forgive me, I don't. I call you a fool. And it is immediately registered. Then that registration is operating all the time. Now, can you stop registering when you're called a fool? And though it has registered, if you cannot stop it, when there is a new insult, not registered at all. You understand? There are two processes, aren't there? First you register. Then I'm asking, stop. Though it is registered, don't let that come into action when I call you a fool another time. You follow the difference? Do you see the difference? What? Huh?
But sir, when I register, when I recognize it initially, that itself creates a momentum.
Therefore, stop that momentum. Can that momentum be stopped? And look, Radhika ji, let's put it very much more simply. You are hurt, aren't you? Be simple, let's be simple. You are hurt, right? From childhood, for various reasons. And that has been deeply registered in the mind, brain. The instinctive reaction is not to be hurt anymore. So build a wall, withdraw, right? Right? Without building the wall, know that you are hurt, be aware of it, and next time a process of hurt begins, not register it. What is the...
What do you mean by registering?
Registering in the sense that is registering. Tape recorder. Our brain is a tape recorder.
But that is not meeting.
Wait. My brain is a tape recorder. It's registering all the time. Like and dislike, pleasure, pain.
Yes,
all the time it's moving. I say something ugly to you, and the brain immediately takes charge, registers. Now I say, can you stop that registration Though it has registered, stop it. And next time when there is a insult, not register it at all. Akapi, you have understood what I'm talking? First see the question. Is the question clear?
But it means not to give an image to the word itself right away.
No. Just don't introduce the image at for the moment. That becomes a little more complex.
Isn't that only possible if the ego doesn't exist?
If?
Isn't that only possible if the ego does not exist?
Ego. You mean, no, I don't complicate it yet. That's true. There is one simple fact. The brain is registering, right? Can that registration ever stop?
Does not need very much attention.
I don't find out. We're going to go into the question of it.
Krishnamurti, maybe clarify a little bit what we actually mean by registration. Because when you call me a fool, I recognize the word fool.
And the image you have about yourself is hurt.
You see, that's a difference. I still recognize the word fool.
But it's not registered.
It's not registered.
That's all.
Implications are not registered.
No, you recognize the word, but not registered. I want to keep it very, very simple. Then I think you will get it nearer.
Will I then, after half an hour, will I know that you called me half an hour ago?
Wait, you're making. First, get at this. Our brain is registering all the time, right? You call me a fool. It's registered for various reasons. Let's go into it because I have an image and so on and so on. That's a fact. The next question is, can that registration stop? Otherwise, the brain is all the time being registered. You follow? It has no sense of freedom.
No, but sir, I may say so. The brain is an alive thing.
Yes.
It has to register.
I know it has to register.
What Radhi said is correct. The registration is one thing, but the cutting of the momentum.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which moves from the registration.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Aren't you saying two things?
What?
Aren't you saying two things? One is that stopping of the momentum, and the other to stop registration.
Altogether.
Isn't it in
And
some
then,
ways?
if you get first don't get what I'm talking about, then you can question it, then you make it clear.
But can when you say do not register,
I think
that mean the brain cells come to a standstill at that end?
Look, people, this is very important because if there is no possibility of registration, then the brain becomes mechanical. Right? Huh? It's like this. It's like that.
Sir, if you will permit me,
I won't permit you. Cut.
I want to cut this because you are taking fear. It oversimplifies the matter. In this way, that actually our state of receiving anything is without our knowing. There is either a preference or an aversion, and fear is in that cycle. Now this is something which is from the past, so it is not directly related to what I perceive, but it is that which perceives. So I am trying to ask you whether that which perceives fear has something to do with this whole process of recognition as you have registered.
Achuji, it's really a tremendous question, this. As long as the brain is registering all the time, which it is now, it is moving from knowledge to knowledge. I'm changing the words. So it becomes very, very limited, right? Because knowledge is limited, fragmentary and so on. So it becomes very, very limited. I'm asking myself whether that registration can stop. That's all. Nothing else.
So, can the brain answer that question?
I think it can, in the sense, the brain can become aware of its own registering process. You call me a fool, and it goes on. Or somebody says, what a marvelous chap you are, it is registering. Both are the same. Whether you call me a fool or flatter me, there is the registration process going on. Can that be stopped?
Sir, I want to say something. There are certain fears which you can deal with that way.
What?
Which you can deal with that way. But fear is the cry of man
For millennia.
for millennia.
I know.
And you are that cry.
I know. Stop. That cry of the millennia is fear. I say that is our conditioning. That is the process of registration. That's what is going on all century after century of registration of fear. And I'm asking, please just stop a minute. Find out if you can, if there is an ending to registration. Find out. I'm not saying it is possible now. Find out.
Krishnamurti, when you're telling me tomorrow we meet at 9:30, I register it.
Of course.
I have to register
Of course.
it. When you say you are a fool, since something must happen, I must see the danger of the registration. Something, or there must be an awareness that tells me that.
So don't forget all that. Do you see this question?
Mhm.
The question, I'm not saying the
That's the
answer,
question.
the question. The brain is registering for millennia. Therefore it has become, part of it has become mechanical. I said, can that mechanical process stop? That's all. If it cannot be stopped, it becomes merely a machine, which it has, which is part of the tradition, part of repetition, part of saying fear, I'm of all. It is this constant registration through millennia. Follow? I'm asking a simple question which has great depth to it, which is, can it stop? If it cannot, man is never free, right? Right?
Can I ask the question, why does it register at all?
That's part, register for safety, security, protection, certainty. The registration is to give the brain a certain sense of security.
Isn't the brain built itself on? Isn't the brain evolved?
Of course, I know all that. Evolves through time. After all that, this brain is different from my great ape.
In order to register.
It's certainly different.
No, it has evolved to register.
It has evolved through knowledge.
Through knowledge to register.
Which is registration. It has evolved through knowledge up to this point. And now it says, I recognize.
What is it?
What?
What is it? What is it? From within itself, it says, stop.
Somebody challenges me that.
But what is the factor which makes it say stop?
No, you come along and say, look, through millennia it has evolved through knowledge. And at present you are certainly different from your great ape. And you say, look, as long as you are functioning in that way, you are living a fragmentary life. Because knowledge is fragmentary. And whatever you do from that fragmentary state of brain is incomplete, therefore pain, suffering and all the rest of it. So I'm asking, you ask me at the end of that explanation, can that registration, that movement of the past end? But keep it. I made it much more simple. Can this movement of the millennia stop?
The process of registration has started because of the feeling of insecurity.
Security.
And
Essentially
if I ask
security.
such a question, that can this process stop? That gives me again the same feeling of insecurity.
No.
No, I'm asking you a question. Is there something in the very quality of listening?
Yep, there it is.
to
That's
your
it.
question,
That's it.
which hearing wholly ends and brings silence to the ends.
That's it. And that's my point. You have come to in my life by chance, doesn't matter. You have come to my life, and you have pointed out to me that my brain has evolved through registration, through knowledge, through experience, and that knowledge, that experience is fundamentally, however much knowledge you may have, is limited, right? And whatever action that takes place from that limited state of my brain will be fragmentary, therefore conflict, pain and all the rest of it. So you can't say, look, find out, don't argue, because we can endlessly argue, find out if that momentum, which is tremendous, volume of depth and water, and it's like a tremendous flow of energy which is knowledge. Stop that kind of knowledge. That's all.
So may I ask, I don't know it's the sideline, but much reference has been made to the tape recorder as registering, and it just goes on registering, and it can't stop itself. It has to be stopped.
Oh yes,
by
pull the
something
plug
else.
out, it stops.
Yes, but then can the brain stop itself?
And we're going to find out. First, face the question. That's my point. First, listen to the question.
Can I ask a question?
Huh?
Can I ask a question?
Oh, not can. This is dialogue.
Is the whole of my consciousness only registration, sir? It's all that, the whole of my consciousness, there is only registering going on?
Of course.
Then what is it that observes this registering?
What is it?
What is it that can observe this registering or prevent registering? Because I also know silence. Sir,
you only know silence like between two noises.
yes, but that is silence which I experience also registering then?
Obviously.
You can't call it registering for
There
that
is,
silence.
as long as there is a registration process going on, it is mechanical.
That's all right.
Is there silence which is non-mechanistic? Which means you haven't thought about it, you haven't induced it, you haven't brought it about, invented it. As long as you do that, the silence is merely mechanistic.
But one knows the non-mechanistic silence sometimes should
Not sometimes.
If you don't grant it,
Sir,
then...
I don't grant it.
Sir, is it possible for a non-mechanistic silence to come?
I'm not interested in you see, you have introduced something to
No, sir, this is... Then what is it?
I am asking something entirely different. But don't answer by saying silence. I'm asking you something which is this momentum of the past, our conditioning, the whole consciousness is the past. There's nothing new in it. There is no future consciousness. The whole consciousness is the past. Registered, remembered, stored up, experienced knowledge, fear, pleasure, all the rest of it. That's the whole momentum of the past. And somebody comes along and says, listen to what I have to say, my friend. This is the momentum. We all know that. Find out if it can be stopped. Otherwise, this momentum will go on endlessly, which is fragmentary activity for the rest of your blasted life.
But
this question cannot be answered.
Yeah, you have to go beyond the mind.
Whatever answer comes is again the past.
I'm going to find out.
But for that, the mind has to go beyond the mind.
No, sir. Don't bring in that. You see, find out if you can stop it. I say, therefore, I say, will you listen when I call you a fool? When I call you a fool, or is this momentum carrying you along? Right? Or you stop and listen without any movement of the past.
Thank you.
You understood this?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Adhikaji? What are you going to say, sir? Please, sir, don't ask, don't wait, just don't raise your hand, just ask. This is a dialogue. This is a dialogue between friends.
Yes, I think it seems to me that the movement can be stopped only if you don't add on to it.
Only?
If you don't add on to it. I mean, you can't, this tremendous momentum you're talking about.
Not I'm talking about.
Well, we are talking about.
You are talking about.
It seems to me it can be stopped only if you don't add on to it.
No. No. The momentum is you, is your consciousness, right? No, the you is not different from this momentum, right? You don't recognize that. You are this vast momentum of tradition, of racial prejudice, collective drive, so-called individual assertions and so on. This is vast river. And somebody says to me, comes and says, look, if there is no stopping to that, there is no future. It'll be the same thing, future, modified, change a little bit here and there. It'll be that. So there is no future. This current is going on. You may call it the future, but there is no future. I don't know. I wonder if you see this.
Now I'm listening. And action takes place. Now, you are not there.
Huh?
You are not there.
No.
And darkness has arisen within you. The question arises, can consciousness, which is itself its own content, which is the darkness,
End.
hold this? You use that word?
Yeah, hold it, yes, certainly.
What does that exactly mean?
I think it's fairly simple.
Let us go a little deeper.
Sir, look, Papuji, can the brain hold this momentum? Or is it an idea that is momentum? You follow what I mean? Wait, listen to it carefully. Is the momentum actual, or is it an idea? If it is an idea, then you can hold the idea about the momentum. But if it is not an idea, a conclusion, then the brain is directly in contact with the momentum. I don't know if you're following. And therefore, it can say, all right, it is watching, it's not allowing it to move.
But can it allow not to move?
Huh?
Can it allow not to move? Because it implies I've got to respond. If you call me a fool, at once, if I don't hold it the word at once, there is a process of thoughts going very fast.
Look, sir, no.
Sir, may I ask?
If we could take it a little further.
I'm going to. You should. Look, sir. My consciousness, with all its content, is consciousness. The content make the consciousness. Without the content, the consciousness, as we know, will not exist. That's obvious. It's logical, it's obvious. That content is this vast movement. Right?
So what happens is, there is a particular time a content comes in with the word momentum. Then we hold on to that word momentum.
That's what I'm saying. Is the word you are holding on to, or you're observing this vast movement? Look, you are that vast movement. When you say you are that vast movement, is it an idea?
No.
Therefore, you are that. Now somebody comes along and says, find out if that thing can end. Which is the past, Rajesh, listen, the past coming, meeting the present, a challenge, a question, and ending there. Otherwise, there is no end to suffering. Man has put up with suffering 1,000 years upon 1,000 years, right? That momentum is going on and on and on. You may say, Jesus came and carried my suffering and all that stuff, but that still I suffer. I can give an explanation, karma, reincarnation, but I still suffer, right? This suffering is vast momentum of man, right? Can that momentum come to an end? Without control, then the controller is the control, all the different, all right. So, can that stop? If it doesn't stop, then there is no freedom, then always our action will be incomplete. Therefore, regret, pain, suffering, all the rest of it. If you see the whole of that, see actually, then
when I'm challenged about something like registration in a discussion like this, and maybe it's seen fairly clearly, what prevents continued perception like that?
So there is nothing to prevent. If I understood your question right. Who is to prevent this thing?
In a discussion like this, issues like this become more clear. Like registration, it might be easier to see it. On leaving a discussion like this, it becomes cloudy, and I don't see registration so clearly. Why does that happen?
Sir, I can observe myself. What he's saying is, when you are here in this discussion, it is easier to observe the registration and observe the mind in movement. But when one goes out, it becomes cloudy, he's saying that.
No. Either you see it or you don't see it. If you see the danger of it, it's finished. If you like a cliff, like a cobra, a snake, this or that, a bus coming along, rushing towards you, you see the danger, step out. You don't say, well, I see it one day and the next day I'm rather cloudy when the bus is coming.
So then can we discuss this feeling of ours, which is saying that we are seeing it just now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead if you want to.
This feeling that we are observing ourselves just now. What is it? Can we find this?
You are being forced by the speaker, aren't you? Influenced, pushed, directed. And the moment that pressure is released, you are back to yourself.
May I ask something, Rajesh?
Yes.
What are you seeing?
No, when Krishnamurti come to it.
What are you seeing?
No, when he's saying there is fear.
No, but forget all that. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing the fact that yes, there is fear, I'm reacting.
Can you ever see that? When you see, you are seeing in the presence. What are you seeing?
Bapuji, may I ask something? I call you a fool. Bapuji, I call you a fool. Must you register it?
I'll tell you, sir.
Wait, I'm asking, please just don't counter answer. I'm asking you a very simple question. You're called a fool. Why should you register it?
No, and that's why let me explain. I can't just answer, why should I register?
Don't register it. Go ahead.
It's a question of whether these eyes and ears of mine are flowing out to the word fool. If they are still and listen, there is no registration. There is listening, but no registration.
So, what are you saying?
That is, there is no seeing of this movement.
No, Pupul, I'm asking such a simple...
No, I'm answering you. Please listen very
Yes.
quietly. I was observing while this discussion was going on, and I said, what does it mean to register the fact I'm a fool, you are a fool? Obviously, if my listening is directed to the word which is coming out from you, I register. The movement outward throws it back. But if the eyes and the ears are listening and seeing, but still, then they take in without any registration.
So you are saying that if there is a quietness in listening, there is no registration. But most of us are not quiet. Wait, that's not my point.
So you cannot answer that question of yours. So why should one register?
No, I say no, I'm asking quite a different question. One calls you a fool.
And you say why?
Don't register it at all.
No, but it's not a process in which I can register or I cannot register. You are trying to give two alternatives. The way you put it, don't register at all. It is as if it is possible either to register or not to register.
No, you are registering all the time.
So So there is a registration all the time.
All the time.
As long as my senses are moving outwards, there is registration.
No, when you say as long as, that means you are not now.
No, it's an explanation. That's why I say this is what I felt during this listening to you. That the instant I was still in my listening, there was insight.
You're not answering.
Sir, you asked a question, can you stop registering, sir?
Can you
stop registering? Sir, at the moment, we are not very much exposed to the danger of it, sir. To put out a serious reaction.
That means you are conditioned to the danger of a cobra, right?
Yes, sir.
So as long as you are conditioned not to register, you won't register.
If that is the way...
No, you haven't listened. I am conditioned through centuries that a cobra is a dangerous snake.
Yes.
So I respond instantly according to that conditioning when I meet a cobra.
Yes.
And you are saying too that if I can get conditioned to the stopping of this momentum, then it is finished.
Which means?
So you are depending on conditioning.
Sir, is there a correlation between registration and resistance?
And?
Is there a correlation between registering and resistance?
Is there a correlation between registration and resistance?
Oh, I can resist it, but I've already registered. I can resist you calling me a fool, turning my head away, but it already sunk.
But if you no longer continue to reflect on the registration, is that ending the registration?
I don't quite follow, sir.
Well, I can't see how it's possible to not always register, but maybe in my mind I can understand that my reflection on the registration is where the momentum is.
Yeah, I understand, sir. I don't know how to answer all these questions. Huh? I want to find out whether this vast stream of the past can come to an end. That's all my question. Or must it everlastingly go on?
In order to...
Nothing, not in order.
No, you won't accept anything. You won't accept any kind of statement on it. Therefore, there has to be, the brain cells have to end.
I'm asking you, can it end? If it doesn't end, you know what it is.
So, let us move from that to the brain cells.
To?
The brain cells.
To?
The brain cells. Which
Brain
are
cells.
Actual registration.
So, the brain cells are registering. Can those brain cells, which are so heavily conditioned, because it has realized that momentum is the only safety as long as it lives. So in that momentum, brain has found tremendous security, right?
And which have only one movement.
Yeah, but enough. Keep it. That momentum. Well, 10 joined together.
No, please listen. They have only one movement, which is the movement
Of the past.
Of the past, touching it.
Moving on.
And moving on.
Yeah, that's it. Past, meeting the present, moving on, modify. We've gone to that. So the brain is conditioned to that.
Now, can those very...
I'm coming to the... The brain is conditioned to that because it has found safety in that. It sees as long as that stream exists, is perfectly safe. Now, how is that those cells to be shown that it is the most dangerous movement? Wait, I want to, please. That momentum is the momentum in which the brain has found enormous security. In the past, the brain has found its well-being. Now, to point out to that brain the danger of this momentum is all that matters, right? Right? Moment it sees the danger, it moves.
The frightened mind asks such a question.
I'm doing, sir, I'm asking you, for God's sake, not. I'm asking you, sir, do you see the danger of this momentum, of the past, meeting the present, learning from it little more or little less, modifying itself and moving on? Do you see the danger of this movement? The actual danger, not theoretical danger, but the actual physical danger. If you don't see it, all your questions will arise. But if you see the danger, the brain says, by Jove, I can't do that. You follow what I'm saying? The brain wants...
How do you know that?
I'm doing it now, for God's sake.
Are your brain cells doing that?
Huh?
Are your brain cells doing that?
What? What do you mean? My brain.
Are your brain cells saying that this movement
is dangerous?
Is dangerous?
My brain is using the words to inform you of the danger. But it is not. It has no danger in that. It has seen it and dropped it. No, my point, no, you're getting off from my brain. I helped my brain. I mean,
No.
Do you see the danger of a cobra? When you see the danger, you avoid it. You avoid it because you have been conditioned through millennia of the danger of a snake, right? So your responses are according to the conditioning, which is instant action, right? The brain has been conditioned to carry on because in that there is complete safety. It thinks, meeting the present, learning from it, modifying and moving. Says that's the only safety movement I know, the brain says. So I'm going to remain there. But the moment the brain realizes that is the most dangerous thing, it's out. Because it wants security.
But the brain has to realize that when it is factual, when you will see the cobra or when you will not see the cobra.
What?
What you are saying is you have the mind has to register the moment when you will be in the factual moment. If I see will a cobra which be now, it's my brain just had to look at it and
Of
to
course,
face
of
it
course.
just right now.
Right
But
now.
can
Sir, have you ever met a cobra?
yes, I had the experience, not a cobra, but a week ago I had an experience.
What
3 meters
happened?
from me.
What happened? You acted instantly.
I just had a fear, moment of fear.
Yes, so you acted, which
Yeah.
is according to your conditioning. You
Yes,
acted.
right.
And you act now according to your conditioning in this momentum.
True.
Both are conditioned actions. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there with the cobra it has realized the danger of it. Here it hasn't realized the danger of its momentum. because it says, I know, in my knowledge, there is safety. But when it sees the danger of it, it won't act from a conditioning, it's out of it. I can't, huh?
The difficulty in seeing it with all one's...
Do it.
The point is to do it.
See, we act according to our conditioning, right? The cobra is, you act according to the conditioning. You act according to the conditioning of the past, right? So our response to our conditioning is based on reward and punishment. Those are the motives. Reward or punishment, all the complications of reward and the complications of punishment. Now if somebody comes around and says, look, just stop a minute, just listen, don't argue, don't fight, don't say yes, no, just listen. Can this movement stop? Because this is the most dangerous movement. Because the brain becomes mechanical. This breeds separation, conflict, wars, this and the other things. And do you see the danger of it? If you don't see the danger of it, let's talk about it. Till you see the danger. After all, your great apes said, be careful of that snake. My mother was bitten, killed. So you be careful. One ape says to the other. And it has been handed down to us. And the same thing in this direction, you follow, in this momentum. So when you see the danger, the immense danger of this, like when you see the immense danger of nationalism, you follow, it's over, you don't say yes. Argue, discuss, it's a dangerous thing. If I see the danger of if I see the danger of following somebody, guru, a leader, an idea, this or that, and it's finished, I'm overnight. The difficulty is we are so heavily conditioned that we don't listen. Right?
But if you take the example of a child which has got no knowledge, let's say a child...
Oh yes, has got all of itself. He's already frightened.
He's already frightened.
And the toy is mine, not yours.
No, but I'm a very small child, let's say 2 years.
Even there's already... The snake is there already. You must know your children, gosh.
So you said this momentum is dangerous. What happens is, anything that we say it is dangerous to the momentum rather than the momentum is dangerous.
Momentum itself is a danger.
No, but what we do.
Yes. We are
not clear about it yet. I don't see the danger of momentum as actually as you see it. I don't see the danger actually.
Why so?
It's partly because I have never observed the momentum for large to see its danger.
But are you living with the description of the momentum or living with the momentum itself, which is you? You understand my question? Is the momentum different from you?
No, sir.
So you are the momentum. So you're watching yourself.
That's right, but this doesn't happen often.
Often. That's an awful word, often and continuous, those words. Are you aware, without any choice, that you are the momentum? Not sometimes. It is a fact. You can't say, well, precipice is, I only see it occasionally. So, if the world is not the thing, then the world is not the fear, right? The world is not. But has the world created the fear? So if there is no word, would I name it fear?
No.
No, don't quickly answer it. Find out. Go slow, Radhaji. Go very slowly. Word is not the thing. The door, the actuality, is not the word. Right, that's very clear. Fear is not the word we say. But the word has the word created fear? Without the word, would that thing called fear exist? Without the word. The word is the registration process. There is something totally new arises. That new, the brain refuses because it is a new thing. So it immediately says it's fear. To hold the brain's momentum of that and say, wait, watch. You're following what I'm saying? So to give a gap between the movement of thought interfering with the actual moment of that feeling, to have a gap. You follow what I'm saying? Which can only happen when you go into this question very deeply. The word is not the thing. The word is not the fear. Does the fear exist without the word?
Sir.
Wait, sir. Immediately you stop the momentum. You follow? I wonder if you see this.
I've got to suggest that fear does arise. For instance, a child may burn his hand in all innocence, a small child. And from then onwards it has a fear of the fire.
Of course.
But the actual action which created the fear came before the fear, and he doesn't even know the word fear.
No, of course not.
No.
But that's what we're saying. Experience, registration, knowledge, always captures the present.
You mean to say that, I want to ask you a question. The quality of tenderness.
What?
Quality of tenderness which rises, and the quality of hatred which rises. Without names, it is only the name which differentiates that.
No. Wait. Hatred. Now let's take that. Hatred. How does it arise, hatred? You have done something, said something which hurt me, my image of myself. And therefore there is that hatred arising from the image. Is tenderness, love, an image?
When the word comes in, whether it is tenderness or anything, then it's all part of the me.
Of course.
Therefore, there is no difference in that sense.
No, but
Therefore, I had suggested that instead of taking the word actual hate or actual tenderness, we take a non-verbalized something suspended which is aversion as a tendency, aversion, attraction. Now I say that this aversion attraction is the soil in which this tenderness and hatred are flowering. I am only conscious of that soil. They have neither become hate, they have neither become tenderness. And I am asking you, with reference to what we have been talking, whether that momentum can be held at the point where the soil has not split into aversion.
That's aversion, man said. So what is the question?
Aversion and attraction are the same as reward and punishment,
Of course.
which come after registration.
You see, I am going long before it has become verbalized.
The point is that in actual living, these things rise in one.
Sorry, I didn't.
These things rise in one. Anger and tenderness. Normal and tenderness. Let's not go into any big words about tenderness. If you did not name them,
People know. When you are tender, when there is that feeling of tenderness, you're not going through the process of verbalizing, don't name it. That's something which is not calculated, which is not conditioned.
I won't take the
That's why.
Let's just take the word anger and fear.
They're both the same thing.
Are they the both things?
Yes.
Are they the both the same?
Yes.
Now I'm questioning.
Anger, maintained, sustained, becomes hatred.
Anger and fear.
To me it seems that everything lies in the question, how do I know there is tenderness, or how...
The moment you say, I am tender, it's dirty.
So, the moment I know that I am this, whatever it is.
That's
I'm
what.
not even going into the moment of knowing. I'm going into the essential quality of it. I started by saying that Krishnaji talked of taking either anger or fear without the name and holding it in consciousness.
Do you ever hold anger in your consciousness? Do you ever hold anger? Or it's already moved?
That's what
I'm asking you. Hold it. On the contrary, I'm saying, I say, when there is anger, hold it, remain with it. Don't.
Sir, you are talking of anger after it has come as an outer impact. I am talking of it as it arises as a quintessential aversion.
Sir, you're sticking to your aversion and non-aversion.
I stick to it because it has not become anger. It will become anger the moment it gets a chance.
The aversion
is in the soil.
Is the soil. The soil is the image.
The soil is
the anger.
The soil is the momentum.
It is also the
All right, the same. Soil is the soil is the momentum. Soil is the momentum. The picture is the momentum. Follow. Let's stick to one thing, sir. Don't move away from soil, this or the other. I've repeated this. I'm sick of it.
I'm still wanting to get to the thing which you said last night.
What?
I'm still trying to get to what you said last night.
Which is that?
To be approaching.
What?
You said something last night. Is it possible to hold this quality of feelings without the word?
Yes, that's it. Do it.
This is what I'm trying.
Of course it can.
Whether it is hatred, anger.
It doesn't matter to hold the feeling of fear without the word, just to remain with that feeling. Do it.
How is it possible, sir? Some other thought comes in and you try to hold the feeling.
Then you can't hold it.
You escape from it.
You escape from it. Then escape from it. Know that you are escaping from it. Be aware of the whole, sir. But if you say I must hold it, then it becomes a formula and you're lost. Right?
But what did you exactly mean?
What?
What did you exactly mean?
I mean very simple thing. When fear arises, for whatever cause, remain with it without any momentum, without any movement of thought.
What is it then?
What?
What is it then?
What is it then? It's no longer the thing which I have associated with the past as fear.
What is it?
I would say it's energy, in held without any movement. Then when energy is held without any movement, there is an explosion. That thing is transformed. Bananas. That is, if I am afraid, fear, this is common thing.
I'm afraid of fear.
Huh?
I'm afraid to have fear.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
I'm afraid to face what you are talking about.
Don't face it.
That's really basically.
Of course. Don't face it.
Then I'm back to where I am.
Oh, remain where you are. See, we are so greedy for everything. I say that I don't know. Whatever direction I take will be wrong. Right? Right? Because I'm so utterly confused in myself. Whatever direction I take will be confused. So I say, all right, I remain with my confusion. Just listen to it. I remain with my confusion. I won't move. I know I am confused. Whatever I do will be confused. Can you say that? Actually? Then what takes place? I'm confused. I don't know. The politicians say this, scientists say this, the gurus say this, the book says this, I say this, you follow? It's such a nightmarish confusion. Right? Right, sir? Yes. And whatever you do out of that soil, whatever grows out of that soil will be confused. Right? Do you see it actually, or is it a theory? That's our difficulty. We have made it into a theory, an idea. I'm confused. You don't say that when you are hungry. Say, make it into an idea. I am hungry. I think that's enough, isn't it?